Okay, so I got lost on 6th Street in Austin, Texas. I don't even remember how it happened, but when I realized I had no idea where I was like, no, I gotta get out of here. I am never taking a shot with a stranger, but he insisted, and he kept buying me more and more drinks. And by the end of the night, I didn't know who this guy was or where I was. It was one of the most craziest nights of my life. This is something that you have to hear. I swear it was something that you had to see to believe. First of all, I am not from the ghetto. Second of all, yes, I am from California. But third, this is Austin, Texas. Everyone's from California. But I swear it was the funniest thing because they tried to warn me about this area. I'm like, are you sure you're talking to the right person? They want to experience a little bit of that magic, and I think everyone should experience it. Are you sure you're not talking to someone from Texas? But I played along, and I acted like I was worried about staying in this area, and they were just giving me all kinds of stories about how terrible it is. Dive, they were clearly talking to the wrong person. But yeah, that was definitely a funny moment. DeBar. Hands down, it was when I realized that everyone is out on 6th Street. Literally, everyone is on 6th Street. And if you've never gotten lost somewhere, I want you to comment down below. Just type, I have ungotten lost, because I think it's something that everyone should try to do at least once in their life, because getting lost can lead to some of the craziest experiences and some of the best memories. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're staying. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Literally, everyone ends up on 6th Street in Austin, Texas. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, y'all. Bye. No matter where you're from, no matter where you're staying, no matter who you are, everyone ends up on 6th Street in Austin, Texas. Oh my God, hands down. It was called the White Horse. And it's funny because the White Horse, if you're a local, you know exactly where it is. If you're not from Austin, it is on the corner of 5th and Rio Grande. And it is the best freaking honky-tonk in Austin. Maybe we should take a step back and realize what's happening right now. Honestly, I am not the biggest country western girl. This was definitely not a highlight of my experience, but it was pretty funny. So again, I don't remember how I got to 6th Street, but I do remember running into this group of guys and they were like, where are you from? Where are you staying? And I told them where I was from, and I told them where I was staying. But dang, if I can't get down to some good live music, you know? Sometimes I forget that Austin is known as the live music capital of the world. And I love being able to experience that, especially when I'm lost on 6th Street and I stumble into a place like the White Horse. It was hands down one of the best experiences that I've had in Austin. But I ended up at the White Horse, and I swear it was love at first sight. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the people. I loved the music. I loved everything about it, and I could not stop dancing. I was dancing non-stop for hours. This is why she can't date either one of them. That was one of the most bizarre things that I have witnessed. Okay, so this was back in March 2015, so 8 years ago. You're from California? We know where you're staying. We know where all the Californians stay. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? They were like, you're staying in the ghetto. And I'm like, but I was just walking down the street and I saw two guys fighting, and they were fighting over this girl, Kay. And they were like pushing each other and shoving each other, and they were both wasted. And then they both reached for the girl, and she looked at them and she's like, do y'all know what y'all are doing? Do y'all know where you are? She starts laughing and she goes, this is why I can't date either one of y'all. And then she just walks off, and they both left standing there with their drinks, and I swear I almost died laughing because it was just the most ridiculous thing. It all started when a random stranger asked me to take a shot with him. How a random stranger changed the direction of your night. So I was just walking down 6th Street minding my own business, and I stopped into one of the bars because I heard some live music. There were people out. I was having a great time. And then I turned around and there's this guy staring at me, and he says, hey, you want to take a shot with me? And I'm like, hell no, absolutely not. I don't even know who you are. He said, come on, I insist, it'll be fun. But little did I know, it would be the start of the craziest night in Austin. And I don't even remember how it happened, but we ended up leaving the bar and going to another bar, and he bought me a drink. Then he bought me another drink, and pretty much the next thing I knew, I was walking down the street and I had absolutely no idea where I was. I was like, wait a minute, I think I just got lost on 6th Street. And it was actually probably one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me in a while. If you've never been to 6th Street before, it can be very disorienting. Everything kind of blends together and every bar looks the same. They're always packed full of people. And I will say, if you do go to 6th Street, you definitely need to keep your wits about you. The most unexpected or bizarre thing you witnessed on 6th Street? There were guys fighting over this girl, and it's like a funny or awkward moment with a local or fellow tourist. And they were like, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I swear, it was the funniest thing because I realized that they were completely wrong. The moment that you realized Austin nightlife isn't like any other city. There are college kids, there are high school kids, there are locals, there are tourists, there are people from out of town, there are people from Texas, there are people from California. And I think it's because everyone wants to experience what it's like to be in the live music capital of the world. So let me ask you, when was the last time you got lost somewhere? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button.